In the blue hills of Virginia, where the tall pines kiss the sky, how my heart thrills in Virginia when the love shines in your eyes. In the evening, you're a picture so fair, mellow moonbeams kissing your hair. Blue hills of Virginia, I hope to win ya, sweetheart mine.
Radio Bristol presents Farm and Fun Time, live from the birthplace of Country Music Museum in beautiful downtown Bristol.
In the evening, you're a picture so fair, mellow moonbeams kissing your hair. In the blue hills of Virginia, I hope to win ya, sweetheart mine. Live from the McLaughlin Theater at the birthplace of Country Music Museum, I'm your host, Farm and Fun Timer Chris Trulson, welcoming you to another live broadcast of Radio Bristol's Farm and Fun Time. Big hello to all of our friends tuning in across the country. We appreciate you wherever you may be and hope that you're going to enjoy the next hour or so of music. Due to these unprecedented times, we're continuing to do our show without our wonderful audience, but we hope you'll be hooting and hollering up from your couch this evening from wherever you might be. Believe me, we'll need you, folks. We got a great show for you this evening with some amazing artists, including the one and only Red Volkart is here. Woohoo! Yeah. For those of you who don't know who Red is, he's an amazing certified Telecaster master from Austin. He's an Austin stalwart, spent many years on the road with Merle Haggard and pretty much everybody else. And also, we've got a Radio Bristol favorite with us this evening. Celebrated songwriter Scott Miller is here with us. And we also have a great celebration in store for Uncle Dave Macon, the Dixie Dewdrop, the grandfather of country music. We're going to be celebrating his 150th birthday. He would have been 150 yesterday, actually, so we're going to make sure to celebrate him and give him a party here on Farm and Fun Time, and we're going to do that by featuring, for our Heirloom Recipe segment, Uncle Dave Macon's great-grandson and author of the definitive biography of Uncle Dave. Mike Doubler is here with us. He's going to talk a little bit about Dave Macon's favorite food, which is salt-cured ham, better known as country ham these days. I will tell you, once I actually got paid for a gig in a country ham. It's real. That's when you know you really play country music. For this month's Farm Report, we visited Jonesboro, Tennessee, and went to the Boone Street Market, and Tennessee's only 100% nonprofit producer-only grocery store. That's a 100% nonprofit producer-only grocery store. We'll talk about them and their mission and the foods that they carry. It's a really cool project. And, of course, we also have Bill and the Bells. We've got Aiden on the banjo ukulele. We've got Kalia on the fiddle and Andrew back here on the bass. We'll jump on into things with the tune that we wrote. This is called Taking Back My Yesterday. Take all my sunshine, my happiness too. Take my pride, take my money, Lord, I give it all to you. You can keep on telling lies, but we both know the truth. Honey, I got news for you, yes I do. My future's getting bright every minute of the day. By tomorrow you'll be gone and I'll be happy on my way. Funny how quickly your fades. Give me back my yesterday. Oh, give it back. I'm taking back my yesterday, leaving behind all your foolish ways. Yeah, I'm moving on with a right through the stone. Crying it won't make me stay. Funny how quickly your memory fades. Give me back my yesterday. Take all my sunshine, my happiness too. Take my pride, take my money, Lord, I'd give it all to you. You can keep on telling lies, but we both know the truth. Honey, I got news for you, yes I do. My future's getting brighter every minute of the day. By tomorrow you'll be gone and I'll be happy on my way. Funny how quickly your memory fades. Give me back my yesterday. Funny how quickly your memory fades. Give me back my yesterday. Thank you, thank you. That's called Taking Back My Yesterday. It's one that we wrote, as I mentioned. And we'll get you one that we didn't write. This next tune is a song that's one of my favorite songs. This is a song that comes from the great Jimmy Rogers. Folks call him the father of country music, and we'll get you one called The Carolina Sunshine Girl, and it goes like this. Moon, moon, I can see you sinking low. You make me feel like was the little girl that I once knew. After I wander the whole night through, wondering if you think of me, while I'll be lonesome thinking of someone, thinking only of you. My Carolina sunshine girl, you have turned my heart to stone. My Carolina sunshine girl, you have left me all alone. sunshine girl. The old Carolina Sunshine Girl, Jimmy Rogers tune. And as I mentioned, we'll get you some Dave Macon tunes and some surprises coming your way this evening as well. Right now, folks, it's time for a word from one of our tremendous sponsors, Eastman Credit Union. Hi there, how you doing? Hope you don't mind us crooning about Eastman Credit Union. They're the reason that you're able to tune in. If you like all the things that we're doing, let them know how much you're approving. And say thank you, Eastman Credit Union. Yes, tell them thanks for their support of Radio Bristol's Farm and Fun Time. Remember, ECU is there for you. From using your phone to transfer money, making a deposit, signing loan documents from anywhere. For more information, visit ecu.org. Join Farm and Fun Time and say, thank you, Eastman Credit Union. Hey, thanks. Thank you, Eastman Credit Union, for all of your generous support to Farm and Fun Time and Radio Bristol. And now, folks, it is time for the Farm and Fun Time heirloom recipe. The food segment. Food is at the center of our culture and is so important in the Appalachian region. Food represents much more than what we eat. It represents family, memories, history, place, and more. And for this month's heirloom recipe, we've got author and historian Mike Doubler joining us from Middle Tennessee. Mike is the great-grandson of the Grand Ole Opry's first superstar, Uncle Dave Macon. Mike recently published a definitive biography of Uncle Dave titled The Dixie Dewdrop, the Uncle Dave Macon Story, published on University of Illinois Press. And as I mentioned, yesterday it would have been Uncle Dave Macon's 150th birthday, which is certainly reason to celebrate. The grandfather of country music, we say. So Mike is here to talk a little bit about Uncle Dave and his love for something that we all love, country ham. So please, folks, give a big Farm and Fun Time welcome to Mike Doubler.
Hello, folks, and greetings from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. My name is Mike Doubler, and it's my pleasure today to be with you on the Farm and Fun Time show, especially the heirloom recipe segment. Today, we're honoring Uncle Dave Macon, the first superstar of the Grand Ole Opry and member of the Country Music Hall of Fame. Uncle Dave was my great-grandfather, and not long ago, it was my pleasure to produce the first book-length biography of Uncle Dave, Dixie Dewdrop, the Uncle Dave Macon Story. A lot of people have enjoyed this book, and I think you will too. Now, we're going to talk about Uncle Dave and food here shortly, but first I want to let you know about an important milestone we're now observing. 150 years ago this week, Uncle Dave was born in Tennessee on October the 7th, 1870. Let me tell you something about Uncle Dave you don't know. He is the firstborn member of the Country Music Hall of Fame. In other words, if you lined up all of the members of the Hall of Fame in the order in which they were born, Uncle Dave would be standing as the first person in that line. This marks him, in my opinion, as a person who's standing at the headwaters, not only of the Grand Ole Opry, but of the entire country music industry. Now let's talk about food, which was central to Uncle Dave's life and music. Why was Uncle Dave's music so popular? He sang about common themes to common people. He sang about the hills, food, romance, love, marriage, animals, and so on. In fact, his first big hit was about food, Keep My Skillet Good and Greasy. My Uncle Dave's favorite song is Bake That Chicken Pie. And the chorus goes like this. Oh, bake that chicken pie. Oh, put on lots of spice. Oh, Lordy, how I'd like to have just a slice of that chicken pie. Now, that may sound a little mild or simple for our music today, but I want to assure you, if you were listening to that song in the middle of the Great Depression, wondering where your next meal was coming from, that song struck a chord. Now, Uncle Dave was particularly interested about food when he was on tour. He became so concerned about what he would find out on the road to eat that he decided to take with him in his touring car a side of salt-cured country ham wrapped in wax paper. One time, he went to California with a bunch of other musicians on a long tour, and all of them were concerned about what kind of food are we going to find in California. And Uncle Dave wrapped up 3 full Tennessee country hams and carried it with him. And when they returned back to Tennessee 2 weeks later, I can assure you that those hams were completely gone. Now, let me give you our heirloom recipe for today. When Uncle Dave would go into a restaurant, he would carry in that ham with him, and the waitress would come to take their order, and Uncle Dave would look at her and say, "Take this ham back in the kitchen and cut off a couple of slices and cook it up with some scrambled eggs." There you have the beginning of your recipe that we're going to feature today. Take a salt-cured ham, cut off a few slices of it, put it in a skillet, add some water to it because you're going to steam it while it's cooking. Put a lid on it to hold the steam and cook it till it's slightly browned. And while you're doing that, you can cook up a whole mess of scrambled eggs to go with it. And there you will have an Uncle Dave Macon country-style breakfast. It's been my pleasure talking to you folks. Keep listening to Uncle Dave's music, and thank you for your time.
And a huge thanks to our friend Mike Doubler for that wonderful story about Uncle Dave Macon. You can check out Mike's book, The Dixie Dewdrop, at University of Illinois Press or here at the Birthplace of Country Music Museum. We're really grateful to have Mike on the show this evening and for taking the time out of his week to send us that amazing story. We really, really appreciate it. And that's just the start of our celebration of Uncle Dave at 150 years old. Folks, and as you know, for the second portion of our heirloom recipe segment, we always like to write a jingle about the story that was just told. So you all heard Uncle Dave liked to carry ham everywhere he went. So this song kind of wrote itself. This is I actually haven't titled it. What should we call this song?
Ham?
We'll call it Ham.
All right. A ham?
This is about taking a slab of ham everywhere you go, and friend, you just get friends every place you go if you have ham.
Yeah. 1, 2.
I got a ham when I'm walking down the old plank road. I got a ham when I float down the Ohio. I got a ham when I drive to California. I got a ham when I got nothing else to say. I got ham. I got ham. I got a ham in my pocket, got a ham in my seat, got a ham in my trunk, and all I'm eating this week is ham. Oh, it's ham. I got a ham when I'm riding down the Dixie Bee line. I got a ham to give to each and every friend of mine. I got a ham when I'm in Georgia, got a ham in Tennessee, got a ham that's a-waiting at the Grand Ole Opry. I got a ham. Everywhere I go, I got ham. I got a ham in my pocket, got a ham in my seat, I got a ham in my trunk, and all I'm eating this week is ham. Everywhere I go, I got ham. Everywhere I go, I got ham. It's called Ham. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. Song that we just wrote just a couple days ago. All about ham, inspired by Uncle Dave Macon himself, that's for sure. All right, it is now time for another word from another generous sponsor. Winter World Tri-Cities. We'll get you that one here right now.
Double hung and sliders, Window World, they're your window provider. Their selection, it just keeps getting wider of bass bows, double hung and sliders.
Yes, for bass bows, double hung and sliders, it's Window World, where all products are custom built and American made. For free in-home consultation, windowworldtricities.com.
Bass bows, double hung and sliders, Window World, they're your window provider. Their selection, it just keeps getting wider of bass bows, double hung and sliders.
Thank you, Window World Tri-Cities, for your generous support of Radio Bristol's Farm and Fun Time. All right, folks, let's get into our first featured act of the evening. We've got an amazing legendary guitar player here with us with a great band to kick things off. Red Volkart, probably best known as the successor to the great Roy Nichols and Merle Haggard's famous backup band, The Strangers. The Canadian native Volkart had no difficulty establishing his place among country's top Telecaster guitar slangers. A stalwart and one of the most celebrated musicians from Austin, you'd have no trouble finding plenty of people who would have considered him the best guitar player there today, and we're lucky enough to have this fella here in Virginia now as he recently relocated. Folks, it would be easier to name who Red hasn't played with than the list of who he has. He's really a remarkable musician and has had a really remarkable career, and we're so thrilled to have with us for the first time here on Farm and Fun Time, Mr. Red Volkart.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, it's nice to be here. It's good to be anywhere these days. Sounds like an old line, but, well, it is. And it still can be used today in today's climate. And we're happy to be here in Bristol at the beautiful museum here. And, yeah, it's wonderful, isn't it? You guys having fun yet? Yeah, great time. Nick and Dylan. Nick on the drums, Dylan on the bass over here. And they're here to save me. It's my first time over here, and I'm looking forward to it. Till they ask me to leave, it'll be good, I guess. So I'm gonna sing a song here, or try to. It's a little Lefty Frizzell song, and you can dance at home or on your computer. I want to. Always late with your kisses. Won't you come to my arms, sweet darling, and stay? Always late with your kisses. Why, oh why do you want to do me this way? How long do you think that I can wait when you know you're always late? Always late with your kisses. Why, oh why do you want to do me this way? Won't you come to my arms, sweet darling, and stay? Always late with your kisses. Why, oh why do you want to do me this way? And how long do you think that I can wait when you know you're always late? Always late with your kisses. Why, oh why do you want to do me this way? And tell me why, baby, why do you want to do me this way? No, thank you. Well, I hope we had some dancing on that one. We're used to drunk people dancing in front of us. We're used to be. I believe those days are gone. But that's all right. We'll still try and make some noise and maybe make people get some itchy feet if we can do that. Here's an old tune that I don't know who wrote it, but Ray Price had a pretty good hit with the thing years ago with lots of nice whiny steel guitar in it, and we don't have that with us, so it'll be completely different than that. But anyway, here we go. Stronger than me, 45 and 8. If you are sincere when you say you don't care, that our love is just a memory, and if it's easy to say that it's better this way, well, darling, you're stronger than me. For if still loving you means I'm weak, well then I'm weak. For I still fall apart when we meet or we speak. And if the love bother you. Well, darling, you're stronger than me. For if still loving you means I'm weak, then I'm weak. For I still fall apart when we meet or we speak. And if the love that we knew won't bother you, well, darling, you're stronger than me. Darling, you're stronger than me. Oh, yeah. All right. Ray Price music. Fun stuff. Fun to play. Fun singing for some folks. What should we do now? Okay. Well, I don't know if we got any polka people out there in Neverland. Don't we? Yeah. Oh, no. We'll save that. I've had a hiccup in my set list. Okay. B flat. righty, there's a little country and western song I thought up my own self out of my own bony head. That's called Diminishing Flames. If you're a music nut or one of the music police out there, you might have heard a diminished chord in there, and hence the name. Oh, it gets better. Anyway, back to the polka. This will be a lot more fun, and make sure we got some folks from way up north and over in the Midwesty kind of area too. They like the polka out there. I know that. I've been there. And they're Lefty Frizzell fans as well, so let's do another Lefty tune here. Going on an F from the 5. 1, 2, 3. She said if I ever deceived her, she'd be gone before I could count 10. I guess that I didn't believe her. Look at the trouble I'm in. She's gone, 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 gone. Crying won't bring her back. More that I cry, faster that train flies farther on down the track. I lost every right to be happy, and I lost the heaven that I'd found. She warned me she'd leave and she left me before my first tear hit the ground. She's gone, 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 gone. Crying won't bring her back. More that I cry, faster that train flies farther on down the track. When I lost the heaven that I'd found. She warned me she'd leave and she left me before my first tear hit the ground. She's gone, 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 gone. Crying won't bring her back. More than I cry, faster that train flies farther on down the track. She's gone, 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 gone. Crying won't bring her back. More that I cry, faster that train flies farther on down the track. Farther on down the track. Farther on down the track. Oh, yeah, polka music. Yeah. It's fun stuff. Yeah. Going flat with all these lights and heat here. Well, this next song is another little instrumental that I wrote, and I wrote it when I lived just outside of Nashville, a little town called Smyrna. And at the time, I was driving through trailer parks looking for gals with tube tops on, and came up with the title, Tubin'. Then I moved to Texas, where they don't do that, and but they have a bunch of drunk people get in tire tubes and float down the river. So I finished the song there with that in mind, so it's got kind of two little twists to it, and well, you'll hear the difference. 1, 2, 3. There's some electric action for you right there. Well, we'll get back to the country stuff. Here's a song Merle Haggard had out several years ago, and I just think it's a cool song and a fun tune to dance to, and it's fun to play, bottom line. They're praying for rain in California so the grapes can grow and they can make more wine. I'm sitting in a honky in Chicago with a broken heart and a woman on my mind. I'm as a man behind the bar for the jukebox. The music takes me back to Tennessee. And when they ask who's a fool in the corner crying, a little old wine drinker me. Here last week from down in Nashville. My baby left for Florida on a train. I got a job to try and forget her. In Chicago, a broken heart is still the same. I'm as a man behind the bar for the jukebox. The music takes me back to Tennessee. And when they ask who's a fool in the corner crying, a little old wine drinker me. And when they ask who's a fool in the corner little old wine drinker me. Any winos out there? I hope you just love that song. It's a dandy. All right. Nobody's looking at us funny yet. Good? One, two more? What do you want? Okay. All righty, well then let's do another instrumental. All right. Another one that I wrote several years ago for an ex-mother-in-law. Title of it's Granny Grunt. Granny Grunt's the name of that one. Well, we want to thank you folks for listening in and on the farm and fun time and night here. I guess it happens all the time. If it's a regular weekly thing, is it? Monthly, close enough. Seems like, well, a month can seem like a week nowadays. So I'd like to remind you folks, don't forget your mask. If I had your email, I'd send you a funny picture of that on there, but I don't, so don't send it in. I want to thank Nick and Dylan for playing with me today, and thank you very much, and all the folks working hard here, putting all this stuff together. We got 14 camera folks, a couple of 5 sound people, and unbelievable security. Oh, there's a couple of women here with one's got a billy club, another one's got a rifle, and they make you wear your mask, and they got a little gun they even point in your head for a temperature and all that. It's awesome. It's great. So anyway, we'll finish up with this little song about a little town in Texas. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Haven't got to worry, haven't got to care, haven't got a thing to call my own. When I'm out of money, I'm a millionaire, but I still got my home in San Antonio. When I greet my neighbor with a hi you all, well, I'm wealthy as a king upon the throne. You can have your mansion and your cottage small, I'll just take my home in San Antonio. All over the country, and I've been on my merry way. I've been in crowds and felt I was all alone. But when I feel like bragging, well, I just up and I say I'm a native son of San Antonio. There's a sweet somebody by the Alamo. Someday she's gonna be my very own, and we'll buy a hot chair in a year or so for our little home in San Antonio.
Red Volkart, everybody, live on Farm and Fun Time. A big thanks to his great band as well, Dylan and Nick. And for more information, check out redvolkart.com. So happy that you're in the area now. Don't be a stranger here to Birthplace of Country Music, that's for sure.
Me too, thank you.
Thank you, Red. All right, folks, it is now time for the Farm Report. Now, friends, it's time for the Radio Bristol Farm Report, made possible by HVAC and Ed Hill, full-service specialty contractor offering a full complement of building solutions for plumbing, heating, ventilation, building automation, geothermal, solar, wind, and more. For more information, visit hvacbristol.com. Thank you, guys. The Radio Bristol Farm Report profiles regional farmers strengthening our community through sustainable, eco-friendly practices, helping to positively impact our region's food access and health. Every month, we visit a regional farm and do a profile piece on that farm. This month, we made our way over to Boone Street Market in downtown Jonesboro, Tennessee. Boone Street Market is Tennessee's only nonprofit, 100% producer-only grocery store. The market is a place for local farmers and food artisans to sell directly to customers year-round, and they only carry food produced within 100 miles of Jonesboro. We spoke with market manager David Phillips to learn more about this incredible community project.
I'm David Phillips. We're in Jonesboro, Tennessee at Boone Street Market. The history of Boone Street Market started with the Jonesboro Farmers Market. The Jonesboro Farmers Market started in 2008, and from that came Boone Street Market in 2014. The history of the building used to be an Exxon gas station, which was converted in 2013 to 14 into Boone Street Market. Boone Street Market was an idea of Karen Childress and Curtis Buchanan, who with another lady started the Jonesboro Farmers Market, and they had this idea that we needed a place for the farmers to be able to sell year-round. And they looked around town and they looked at the old Exxon station and said, wow, that'd be a great place for a year-round store for the farmers market. The farms that are in our store are local farms. All of the products in the store are within this area or within 100 miles of Jonesboro. The farmers come to us. We inspect their farms before we get their products in the store. Local meat in the store, we have beef, we have lamb, we have chicken, we have pork. Occasionally we have veal, we have duck. Produce in the store, we have Swiss chard, we have tomatoes, we have peaches, we have summer squashes, we have cucumbers. The farmers market has grown a whole lot from the in-person farmers market that started in 2008, and then now the online farmers market is very busy for the farmers every week. A lot of the farmers sell out of all their products that they offer. Boone Street Market is jonesborolocallygrown.org or jonesborolocallygrown.net. That'll link you directly to us. We also have our Facebook page, Boone Street Market, and our direct phone number is 423-753-4722. We're open Monday through Saturday, 10 o'clock until 6.
To learn more about food and farming, visit Appalachian RC&D Council at arcd.org. A big thank you to David for the great tour around the store. For our listeners at home, you can view the Farm Report on our Facebook page, WBCM Radio Bristol, and of course visit Jonesboro locallygrown.org for more information about the Boone Street Market. They're doing really good stuff for the whole community of the Tri-Cities. So we appreciate them for having us, and go check them out. All right, folks, it is time to get you a little bit more music. As we mentioned early on in the show, it's Uncle Dave Macon's 150th birthday. The Dixie Dewdrop, one of the great early country music pioneers, really country music's first true superstar, and we want to make sure to pay tribute to him this evening. We're going to do that. We're going to get a special featured artist up here in just a few minutes too, but before we do that, we'll play a very little-known tune from Uncle Dave Macon. That's really one of the sweetest tunes I know. This is an old vaudevillian tune that he picked up when he was traveling, and it's called Peekaboo. Some people call it the Peekaboo Waltz. On a cold winter's eve, when business is done, and to your home you retire, what a pleasure it is to have a bright bouncing boy, one that you love to admire. You'll hug him, you'll kiss him, you'll press him to your heart. What a joy to the bosom it will bring. Then you'll place him on the carpet and he'll hide behind the chair. To please him, you'll commence to sing. Peekaboo, coochie coochie coo, come from behind the chair. Peekaboo, you rascal you, I see you hiding there. When I am away from my home and at work, he's at home with his mama so dear. All the whole day long you can hear his little song, echoing so loud and so clear. His playthings on the floor, he's happy evermore. What a joy to his mama he brings. Then you'll find him on the carpet and he's waiting at the door for me to come home to sing. Peekaboo, coochie coochie coo, come from behind the chair. Peekaboo, you rascal you, I see you hiding there. I see you hiding there. Peekaboo, coochie coochie coo. All right, that is a Uncle Dave Macon song right there. And folks, we want to welcome our good friend from Knoxville, Tennessee, who's made a home in Knoxville for many, many years, moved away to Hawaii for some time, and we're so happy to have this fella back here in the region. He's done so much for the music of our region, and he's a good friend of mine. We're going to call him up because he's a heck of a banjo player. Mr. Matt Morlock is going to join us to play another Dave Macon tune. Come on in, buddy. Fogging up there.
You like that part?
That's the best part. Red Volkart should have done that one.
What are you going to play us, Matt?
We're gonna sing that hoochie coochie coo.
We're going to sing the Hoochie Coochie Coo.
How about
We just sang it.
that old sacred number? Can keep my skillet good and greasy all the time.
All right.
Hey. I'm going downtown, buy me a sack of flour, make a whole cake every hour, keep my skillet good and greasy all the time. Keep my skillet good and greasy all the time. If you say so, I'll never work no more. Gonna lay around the shanty all the time. Gonna lay around the shanty all the time. Lay around it now. Come on, play it around. Oh, girl. Then I'll go up on the hill, gonna buy me a jug of brandy, gonna give it all to Mandy, keep her good and drunk and boozy all the time. Keep her good and drunk and boozy all the time. And I'll go right back downtown, get another sack of flour, make a whole cake every hour, keep my skillet good and greasy all the time. Keep my skillet good and greasy all the time. Coochie coochie coo.
Mr. Matt Morlock, everybody. Thank you for joining us, my friend. We appreciate that. All right, a couple of Dave Macon tunes for the good folks at home. Dave Macon turned 150 yesterday, as I mentioned. And folks, it's time for our next featured artist of the evening. Closing out tonight's show, we've got a Radio Bristol and Bristol Rhythm and Roots favorite with us, known for honest storytelling and whip-smart lyrics that are often peppered with sardonic wit. Scott Miller has been a celebrated Americana songwriter and performer since he emerged on the scene in the 1990s with the B-Roys. He has since released 10 albums while working his family farm in Virginia's Shenandoah Valley. And his latest, Ladies Auxiliary, has been in constant rotation here at Radio Bristol since its release. Folks, we are so pleased to have with us this evening a big round of applause for Mr. Scott Miller. Thanks, man.
Shall we gather at the river? In 69 when Camille came, you had to jump in the river to get out of the rain. The water rose so fast, so high, the cattle bawled and drowned all night. The mountains took it until they gave. The river bridge had washed away. My cousin fished from the front porch steps, and Granddaddy looked at the river and said, from the mountains, through the valleys, to the ocean where it ends, it can never be that river again. She had blue eyes with rings of fire, and I was hers, and she was mine, and the sun was hot, and the river just right. We skipped rocks all day, and we rolled all night. We both knew what lay round the bend. Summer loves will always end. When the walnut leaves fell, we went back to school, drifted away, and the river got cool. From the mountains, through the valleys, to the ocean where it ends, it can never be that river again. The river flows and time goes by. Love's still hard, but I still try. And I've seen it muddy, seen it calm. I've seen it do whatever it wants, but it can never be that river again. No, it can never be that river. Thank you. I can do this act alone. I often do. Am I allowed to talk to the folks? Hello, folks. Thank you for tuning in, logging on. How am I gonna ever be me? How am I gonna ever be me, Lord? How am I gonna ever be me if I'm not who I'm supposed to be? A mother's son, a father's boy, a brother's friend, a sister's joy, a cousin true, an uncle cool, and who knows, a father too. A shy recluse who once shut in, a patriot, a citizen. Why was I born a mystery? How am I ever gonna be me? How am I ever gonna do right? How am I ever gonna do right, Lord? How am I ever gonna do right and do what's good within your sight? Sometimes my best is good enough. Sometimes I bluff that I am tough. I've turned my cheek instead of fight. I made them wrong when they were right. If you help those who help themselves, how comes the meek don't fare so well? And I have prayed with all my might. How am I gonna ever do right? How am I gonna ever be saved? Oh, how am I gonna ever be saved, Lord? How am I gonna ever be saved when I have lived a life depraved? I worship money, murdered Cain, used your names at times in vain, worked on Sundays, rocked and rolled, wanted bad enough I stole. She came to me, what was next door? It's not like we had met before. Oh, tell me, what else can I say? How am I ever gonna be saved? How am I ever gonna find peace? How am I ever gonna find peace, Lord? How am I ever gonna find peace? Will it be on a golden street with big parades and pretty girls and cotton candy colored swirls of waving fields of springtime sun that war's been never waged upon? My lover's arms, my first release. How am I ever gonna find peace? That was a lot of words. If you don't like words, you might want to move on down the dial. Feels good to be playing, though. This is a new one. I wanted to do a new one. I wrote this. I did a show. I've had one show in 2020. It was a drive-in show at a minor league ballpark where people drove in. It was done safe. It was fun. Labor Day weekend there. And because people were in their cars, I wanted to do a special song for them, and I figured everybody had their atlas in their car, their atlases, their atli. And so this is a song that mentions all 50 states, and you can follow along with your atlas if you're in your car. The song is called, what is it called?
New Hampshire, Montana. Here we go. Virginia love and Alabama pride, Tennessee those Mississippi eyes, Georgia peaches in her pie and those West Virginia thighs, Kentucky shirt and jeans from Carolina, crawfish back Louisiana I ate, Texas two-step across the corn husker state, and ask her ma and pa, Illinois with Arkansas. Can I Maryland her now or must I wait? We said FLA to beat the heat, rode the island all the way to Mizzou. Kansas got a Massachusetts wheat, and they'll Indiana out Indiana you. The Maine Vermont is what did Delaware to go see Wisconsin's derriere. At brand New Mexico or used up Idaho, North or South Dakota, I don't care. You don't think a song this mentions all 50 states would need a break, but I gotta have it. Arizona's too hot to panhandle. Oklahoma never felt so right. Her Nevada daddy liked to gamble. That Alaska would be darker, way too light. Connecticut me off the Jersey Pike. It's fun to drive the Keystone State at night. What did I weigh? Hawaii anyway. The old New York had everything I liked. The more you talk, the less I like you. Let's find a starboard port in Old Rico. Michiganders can be very spiteful. To Ohio, but I got to go. Californicate me on the coast. It's a long distance Colorado. Or here in Oregon, washing pound, Washington. Wyoming, Minnesota. New Hampshire, Montana. Oh, I'll leave a little space in there so you can cut that one out. All right, where was I? My dad turned 91 the last week or so, and he's hanging in there. So I always like to mention that and say, wear your masks, ding-dongs. If only for a guy that served his country and taught public school for 40 years and paid all his taxes, none of his kids are in jail, did everything he's supposed to do, so you could do that for him. Hold on, I did that on purpose. Okay, you take a break. Here we go. Well, my old man could be your dad's old man. He lied about his age to fight Japan. It wasn't long before he came back home. He had some help from the atom bomb.
back in Allentown where my dad worked. They'd drink a cold one before they changed their shirts. And every drunken word was his command. The standing order was to understand that he don't care about nothing else, only what he's got to tell himself, where everybody does the best they can. My daddy raised a boy and not a man. See, I was young and hungry when I left home, hungry just for something to be hungry for. I had to prove that I could make my way, no matter who it hurt or price I paid. I didn't care about nothing else, only what I had to tell myself. It's looking back I start to understand, my daddy raised a boy and not a man. One day I ain't got nothing, 'cause that's what I gave. Now when I look into my father's eyes, we both see someone we can recognize. He sees a young man who has lost his way. I look at him, I swear I see the same. Now I don't care about nothing else, only what I got to tell myself. Hey, everybody do the best you can. My daddy raised a boy, not a man. My daddy raised a boy, but I'm all man. Air. I mean, I know it's going out now, but you're going to edit it down, right, and take out all my dirty words. And so in case this airs before the election, I want to do this one here. Because these political songs will wear you down. This is a song called The People Rule. Here we go. For those of you who can't see, if you're listening on the radio now, I don't know whether it's going to be your left speaker or your right speaker, but coming out of one of those speakers during this song will be a kazoo. I feel like I needed to warn you in case you have epilepsy or something. Ever since we crawled out of the slime, or were made people by a divine, before the Irish made Irish stew, we've had to watch out for the people who rule. Presidents, kings, czars, and potentates, Ivan the Terrible and Catherine the Great, Napoleon, Genghis, Ramses I and II. We always remember the people who rule. The history of mankind is brutish and short, but evident truth should stand up in court. Whether your state or commonwealth is red or it's blue, Always be wary of the people who rule. It's just my opinion, but for what it's worth, someday the meek shall inherit the earth. Then we'll have to worry about the meek too. There's something with power and the people who rule. Can you all be quiet? Folks, there's 10,000 people in this room right now. I can't believe how quiet they're being. It's amazing. It should be in the Guinness Book of World Records. I mean, you can't even hear them breathe. Thank you for having me, and it sounds great up here. I'm sure glad that we checked all 3 guitars so I could use just one the whole time. That's awesome. That's just me, you know, being a star, laying it down. This is a song called Someday, Sometime, and send this out to everybody. Some days will never be enough. Some days will always be too much. Some days your work is all in vain. Some days ain't worth a single thing. Sometimes you're called upon to help. Sometimes you have to help yourself. Sometimes the worst thing is the truth, that your best will still not do. What do you want? What do you want? You'll have to get it on your own. Your mother's headed to Kentucky for a while. What do you want? What do you want? You'll have to get it on your own. Someday and sometime. Some days you wish they just would end. Some days you'll want to live again. Some days are harder than the rest. Some days are easy to forget. Sometimes you get just what you want. Sometimes you've had it all along. Sometimes you don't know where to go. Sometimes you're not supposed to know. What do you want? What do you want? You'll have to get it on your own. Your mother's headed to Kentucky for a while. What do you want? What do you want? You'll have to get it on your own. Someday and sometime. Some people live life from the heart. Some people find that much too hard. hard. Some people know where they belong. Some people decide to move on. What do you want? What do you want? You have to get it on your own. Your mother's headed to Kentucky for a while. Ashes gray and dry as dust. A return to the earth someday and sometime.
Scott Miller, everybody, on Farm and Fun Time. Beautiful, beautiful set. Thank you, Scott, for being here. And, of course, check out his music at thescottmiller.com. And, folks, that wraps it up for this evening's program here on Farm and Fun Time. A big thanks to all of our listeners for tuning in wherever you might be. We sure do appreciate you. A big thanks to Scott Miller, Red Volkart, Mike Doubler, Matt Morlock, Boone Street Market, our engineer, Josh Littleton, and the whole Radio Bristol team, and, of course, you. We'll be back next month with another fantastic program, so please keep up with us on all of our social media platforms. Also, don't forget to check out the Farm and Fun Time Noon Show, made possible by Permatile Concrete Products, hosted by our good friends Cody Norris Show from over there in Mountain City, Tennessee. Big thanks to all of our other sponsors as well, HVAC and Ed Hill, ARCD, Window World Tri-Cities, and, of course, Eastman Credit Union. And, folks, we usually end the show with a Tennessee tune, but today we're going to switch it up a little bit because it is Uncle Dave Macon's 150th birthday celebration. So we'll play you one that he made popular, a beautiful song called Buddy, Won't You Roll Down the Line. Again, thank you for tuning in.
Buddy, won't you roll down the line? Buddy, won't you roll down the line? Yonder come my darling, coming down the line. Buddy, won't you roll down the line? Buddy, won't you roll down the line? Yonder come my darling, running down the line.
Thanks for tuning in to Radio Bristol's Farm and Fun Time, made possible by Eastman Credit Union. Wherever life takes you, ECU is by your side. To hear more from Radio Bristol, download our app or visit us at listenradiobristol.org. I'm your host, Chris Trulson, along with Bill and the Bells, thanking you for listening to Radio Bristol's Farm and Fun Time.
Buddy, won't you roll down